Negative news sells, we know this, and there's a neurological reason for that. We pay more attention to bad news than good. It's our primitive brain, which is more attuned to danger than positive. That's fine. But it's something else too, and it's something that actually is one of the things we need to occupy ourselves with in this modern world, and that is our desire to simplify. And I would say oversimplify. We like things that are cut and dried and neat and tidy. Messages that combine contradictory thoughts are complex. And not only do we not have the time and energy for that often, but we're not wired for it. And that's where we've lost the curiosity we were born with. How do I know that everybody in this room is naturally relentlessly curious, or at least has the capacity for it? Because everybody in this room was once 2 years old. Spent time with a toddler? Toddlers ask questions. Toddlers ask questions for a living. They ask questions with such relentless force that it actually defines a stage of human development. And you have to wonder, because the data is clear, we stop asking questions. Where does that curiosity go? I wrote a book about this because that curiosity is the fuel of a lot of good things, including innovation later in life, problem solving, adaptability. Where does it go? Well, it turns out that a lot of the time, that toddler is met with an adult, caregiver, parent, some other person, who blows them off. It's met with some version of get lost. I'm busy, I'm cooking dinner, ask your father. Years ago, I was running through an airport. I happened to be working on this book, and I saw a family going the other way, mother, father, 2 kids. And I overheard the father say to the younger son, "Because I know if I answer it, you'll only ask another one." And I laughed. Any parent would laugh. And then I was really sad, because that's the beginning of teaching us our curiosity isn't welcome. Then we get sent to school. How was curiosity at your school? You know, teachers have been polled and asked which students they dislike the most, and they say the disruptive ones. And often those kids are asking questions. Sometimes they're questioning the very question. Well, that's a pain. Our modern schools are designed for the early industrial era, perfectly designed for that era, by the way. They were basically vocational schools to train us to be workers in factories in different types of jobs. They're very imperfectly designed, as we all know, for a post-industrial era. But the paradigm that we're taught, and that's reinforced for years still, is the teacher has the answer to the question. There's one best answer. And the faster you get it, the more rewarded you will be. And don't deviate. You know, years ago, my son is 20, my nieces, they're the same age, they're both 20 now, but this is my twin sister's daughter. It's a little bit creepy, but we didn't plan it. They were in grade 1, and they had a glorified show and tell. And my niece decided to bring in her father for show and tell. So they were supposed to give a little presentation about whatever they were showing. So she got some paper at home, she wrote a presentation, she brought him into the class, and she said, "This is my father, he likes to play golf, he's teaching me to read, I love my dad." And then she opened it up for Q&A. And the first question was, "Where did you get that paper?" And the second question wasn't for her, it was for her dad, "Why are you so tall?" And then the third question wasn't even a question. Kid said, "I'm the oldest in the class." And the teacher was annoyed. The teacher said, "Does anybody have any questions for Victoria about her presentation?" And, you know, those are all good questions. You could actually go along with those questions. Where did she get the paper? A real estate agent dropped it off at her parents' house. He's hoping that'll mean they'll use his services. It's probably not going to work because their 6-year-old took it to school and she's showing it to other 6-year-olds. Is that marketing or advertising? We think advertising is bad for us. Is marketing somehow more benign? I don't know. Why is he so tall? Is it because of something he eats? Is it because of his genes? Are his parents tall? My parents aren't tall, so that's not good. I got nothing for the oldest in the class. But the point is, you could follow them. Not only does the teacher not follow them, she does something that I think is actually pernicious. She teaches them in that moment that you can ask a wrong question. That when you're presented with a set of facts, your brain should produce a thought that could be more or less the same as the person next to you. And even worse, it can produce a thought that's unwelcome. And this is the thing that we reinforce for years. And the part of this that's soul-destroying is how you think is who you are. Of all the labels you can put on yourself, and there's a lot of them, many can be removed or changed with time and circumstance. But as long as your brain can receive information and process it as only your brain does, you're you. You're uniquely, wonderfully you. And we don't even understand somebody else's brain. Being told that your brain can be wrong shuts down a part of it. And by the way, as we get older and we stop asking questions, we actually laugh less and less as we age. We lose a bit of the joy. The spontaneity goes out of us. We take this to work with us, by the way. How's curiosity at your work? They've discovered that in offices, even places that are trying to foster innovation and creativity, they stifle it. And in fact, two of the groups inside an organization that are designed to foster creativity and innovation are the biggest culprits, and that's HR and IT. HR and IT people hate hearing this. But it's for the simple reason that once you try to systemize something, you're actually shutting down potential. You're shutting down the ambiguity and the possibility. So good HR and IT groups can work around this and make sure they're not doing it. Gary Hamel is a workplace management expert you may have heard of. He looked at employee engagement data. This is from a little while back, but I just checked it. It's pretty up to date. And that is that 14% of employees are fully engaged at work. 24% are disengaged. They're the ones that treat the boss like a substitute teacher. That leaves 62% of employees that are just dialing it in. They're just showing up. 62% are there for just a paycheck. What do you get for a paycheck? Well, if you're lucky, you get three things. You get obedience, diligence, and intellect. You'll get the job done. You won't get the stuff that takes your business to the next level, that solves problems, that adapts. Those three things are passion, creativity, and initiative. And those things are not for sale. You don't get them for a paycheck. You get them because people give them to you. They're literal gifts. And people do that for intrinsic reasons, for motivations of their own. But one of the best ways to tap into that part of somebody is to let them show up fully.